Saucony has produced two models that rank very high in my personal running shoe rankings. The Endorphin Speed 4 is one of my favorite tempo shoes, while the Endorphin Elite 2 is definitely my favorite racing shoe. However, I haven't had much experience with the American brand's daily trainers. Previous version of the Ride didn't particularly impress me, especially due to their firmness, and as you know, I prefer soft shoes. Has anything changed in the new version? Here's the Saucony Ride 18. Hi, I'm Michał and I'm an amateur runner who's simply in love with running shoes. On this channel you'll find reviews of gear, shoes and various running related topics. If you're interested in that, hit subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps me reach new people. Thanks. And before I get into my running experience, I should mention that I received these shoes directly from Saucony. However, no one influenced my opinions and no one saw this content before you. I'm also not affiliated with any running shoe store or brand. The Saucony Ride 18 is designed for daily training, intended to be the most versatile model in their lineup. Before we discuss whether that's actually the case, let's look at the technical specifications. We'll start with the upper. It's made of breathable double-layer mesh. In the forefoot there are plenty of ventilation holes that increase airflow, but thanks to the second layer you don't have to worry about your feet getting cold in cooler weather. The rear of the shoe and the heel collar are lined with a slightly softer plush material, while the heel counter itself is reinforced internally and quite firm up to half its height. There's also a slight narrowing that helps keep the heel in place. There aren't standard shoelace holes here, instead we have loops that the laces pass through. This makes the lacing more flexible and much more adaptable to your preferences. The laces also pass through the tongue, helping keep it in place, but considering the tongue is gusseted, this is more of a nice addition than a necessity. The tongue is medium thickness, typical for daily trainers, nothing to criticize here. And the form-fit insole made of EVA foam is removable, quite thick and soft. It contrasts with the slightly firmer midsole but adds softness and comfort as a result. The shoe offers average volume. Runners with narrow to medium width feet won't have any problems here. Those with wider feet should consider the wide version, as Saucony offers that. The midsole is PWR Run Plus foam, a TPU foam that definitely can't be categorized among the currently popular super soft foams. It provides some cushioning, but it's also versatile enough to handle faster workouts well. The midsole has a fairly classic shape with a slight cutout on the medial side under the arc, but otherwise offers full foot coverage and a strong, stable base. Under the heel there's a 35mm of foam, so we can talk about a substantial cushioning. Under the midfoot there's 27mm of foam, giving us a moderate 8mm drop, making these shoes versatile in terms of foot strike patterns, but slightly favoring heel strikers. The outsole features extensive coverage with XT900 rubber. While it might not offer the best grip, it's very durable and resistant to wear. The tread pattern is flat, typical for shoes designed for urban running. The shoe in reference size 42 EU weighs 259 grams. My pair in size 45 EU or 11 US is 286 grams for the left shoe and 293 grams for the right. But for this type of shoe it's an acceptable weight, though in my opinion it's close to being too heavy. And a quick look at sizing. I have these shoes in my size 45 EU or 11 US, which is my standard size from most manufacturers, so we can say that Saucony Ride 18 is true to size. Let's talk about the running experience. As usual, we'll start with the positives, and there are quite a few. First, versatility. I feel that the Ride 18 is simply the embodiment of this word. It's the quintessential daily trainer. You can run comfortably in them during easy runs, pick up the pace a bit, and even intervals aren't a problem. And it was precisely the intervals that surprised me the most. The PWR Run Plus foam isn't among the softest, so one could suspect it might handle faster running decently, but I was still positively surprised. The toe-off is really dynamic and the foam helps our legs to get going and then maintain that pace. I'm talking about both short intervals like 100 or 200 meters, as well as longer ones around 800 meters or 1 kilometer. It's really quite good. Comfort is another big plus. The upper is very pleasant to touch, slightly stretchy, which allows it to adapt to the foot shape. It's similar material to that used in the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4, which has one of my favorite uppers ever. The tongue and heel collar are soft and wrap the foot nicely, and the tongue is also gusseted, which is always a huge plus for me. I can't complain about stability either. For neutral shoes, the Ride 18 handles this aspect quite well. Much credit goes to the foam profile under the medial midfoot, which reduces the risk of deep ankle collapse on that side, though as you know it's still not perfect for me. And two more pros, not entirely related to running. First is the shoe's design. I really like how this model looks visually, maybe not in this colorway, but there are other variants that look really good. And in such a different variant, I think I would take the advantage of the second plus. They are comfortable to walk in. This makes them even more versatile shoes and perfect for weekend city breaks, one shoe for both walking and running. And what didn't I like? The biggest drawback for me was the grip. I ran in the Ride 18s on wet asphalt and was already sliding slightly, similarly on the sidewalk slightly covered with sand. This is really my main criticism of this model, though it largely depends on the runner's technique. Although in my case, with midfoot landing, it should be best, as this is where we have the most outsole coverage. The second minus, totally subjective, is the midsole's firmness. It doesn't bother during faster sections, but during easy runs it was a bit too firm for me, but that's just for me. For many of you, this probably won't be an issue because you're not as big fans of cushioning as I am. Let's look at the running rotation completed entirely with Saucony shoes. We'll start with daily trainers because this is where I placed today's reviewed Ride 18s. In many ways, these are classic daily trainers with a slightly firmer foam. You can do easy runs in them, do some intervals, and it's a very versatile option. For faster workouts, my choice would be a shoe from the Endorphin series, Endorphin Speed 4. Nylon plate, responsive foam, great fun to run in. Fast workouts in the speeds are a pleasure, and even during rest periods or warm-up they perform well. They can also handle racing duties. In fact, my previous 10k PR was set in this model. You can find the review on my channel. For easy long runs, here the Triumph 22 shines. Very soft and comfortable, but when needed they show their teeth and you can do some marathon-paced segments in them. And racing shoes, here's my favorite, so the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2. Fantastic, soft and very dynamic shoes with a carbon plate. You can find the review on my channel. I'll just add that if you are a more beginner runner or looking for more stability, Saucony also offers the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. These are also racing shoes, but a bit more classic, let's say. Before we move on to the streamlining, I should mention that the new Endorphin Trainer model, it's a super trainer that could potentially fill the slot for daily training, tempo shoes and long runs in the rotation. However, I don't know enough about this model to recommend it definitively, which is why I haven't included it in this lineup. Okay, let's streamline 3-shoe rotation. We drop the Ride 18, the Triumph 22 can also handle daily training duties and will take the speeds for faster workouts. 2-shoe rotation, we drop the Endorphin Elite. Endorphin Speed 4 can serve as a racing shoe too, and they are much more versatile option. And 1 shoe, this depends on what you are looking for. For shorter distances, up to let's say half marathon, the Endorphin Speed 4 would be a good choice as an all-around shoe. For marathon, here I would choose the Triumph 22. Let's take a quick look at alternatives. We're looking for daily training shoes, quite versatile with medium firmness foam. The Saucony Ride 18 currently costs around $140 or 150 euros. The first and probably most similar alternative is the Brooks Ghost 16 and soon 17. These shoes are equally versatile, though with a slight lean toward easier running. Super comfortable, but also with quite firm foam. You can find the review of the version 16 on my channel, and you can buy the Ghosts for $140 or 150 euros, so the same price as Ride 18. And the second alternative is Adidas's offering the Supernova Rise 2. Similar case to the Ghost, but I feel like Adidas will please you more with the visual design. I personally would be much more likely to wear them around town. Again, we are talking about versatile shoes, medium firm and performing excellently for daily training. The Supernova Rise 2 costs $140 or 150 euros as well. The Saucony Ride 18 is a solid daily trainer. They do exactly what you expect from them. You can speed up when needed, you can comfortably clock miles when you want. These shoes are ready for a very wide spectrum of running tasks. They will be best choice for runners looking for medium firmness shoes and for those with narrow to medium width feet. These aren't trainers following the current popular trend of making everything as soft as possible. These are rather running shoes in a more classic edition, but using modern technologies and materials. Such models are definitely needed too. And I, despite being a big fan of soft shoes, sometimes reached out for the rides for my training almost instinctively because they simply did their job. And that's, in my opinion, a very strong recommendation. If you've made it to the end, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and definitely write in the comments what do you think about these shoes. Also check out my Instagram and TikTok, and all of the links will be in the description. See you in the next video.